Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I want to share with you my recipe for sweet potato gnocchi that we're going to dress really simple with some brown butter and some sage and Parmigiano. It's divine. Now, nothing, absolutely nothing in this world beats my nonna's delicious gnocchi, but these sweet potato gnocchi are really, really delicious, and they are so easy to make. They just require a handful of ingredients, which you might already have on hand. So let me take you over them so we can get started. You'll need a mixture of cooked potatoes. I've got some cooked russet potatoes and sweet potatoes. You'll need all-purpose flour, a couple of egg yolks, Parmigiano Reggiano, and salt. That's it. Those are your ingredients for the gnocchi, and then later we'll get a couple more ingredients to make the sauce, which is super easy and simple. But I wanted to share this recipe with you because these are so great for the holiday season. If you want to do this as your main course, as something a little bit different, but so divine, and you can make these, dry them out, put them in the freezer, and they're ready to go, which, hello, it's always smart. Now, these have drained well. What I have here is some sweet potatoes and some russet potatoes that I have boiled until really nice and tender, and it's super important that your potatoes are really, really tender. You don't want these to be hard whatsoever. Now, I know this is gonna sound and look odd, but I'm gonna use my potato ricer and I'm gonna make my gnocchi right on my counter because that's how I've always made gnocchi. And if you watch my recipe with potato gnocchi with my nonna, then you'll know that she makes hers on the counter as well. So that's just the way I do it. And the reason why I make it in here is because if you overwork potatoes, it can totally change the texture, and then it's like gluey and sticky, and it's like the texture is like glue. I don't like that. So you want to just do this by hand. I don't use a mixer or anything. I just use my potato ricer. If you don't have a potato ricer, you can of course just use a potato masher. You're just gonna have to make sure that they are mashed really, really well. And there are like no lumps in here whatsoever when you use a ricer, which is why I use a ricer. And the reason why I'm using a mixture of potatoes is because I find that using straight up sweet potatoes just makes this way too sweet. It definitely needs to be cut with something, and I always cut it with some regular potatoes because, you know, you need that balance. You need balance of the sweet potatoes, the balance of the regular potato, and it also helps with the texture as well. So I'm just gonna stop rambling and get all these mashed up. We've got everything mashed. Just make sure you get it all out of your ricer. Beautiful. Now, before we go ahead and get our hands dirty in there, let's add our egg yolks. You need a couple of egg yolks. And then I'm going to grate in a good amount of Parmigiano. Now, what I love is that by adding the Parmigiano, again, you're giving the balance of the sweet from the sweet potato, the richness of the egg yolks, and the saltiness and nuttiness from the cheese. So you see, I think of everything around here. Grate in a good amount. I'd say about a cup, but you know, up to you. Make sure you use good quality Parmigiano as well. Season your potatoes with some salt. Not too much because you do have the Parmigiano. And now you'll need between 1.5 cups to 2 cups of flour. Start with 1.5 cups, and if you need more, then you can go ahead and add more if you need it. Now, what I also have here is a large baking sheet that I've lined with some kitchen towel. This is lint-free kitchen towel. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sprinkle that liberally with flour because that's gonna be my resting spot for my gnocchi. I just wanna make sure that nothing sticks. Make sure that your flour is covering the towels really well. And now you're gonna have to mix this together with your hands. At first, you'll think to yourself, this is a mess. It's never gonna come together, but I promise you, it not only comes together well, but it is just the most beautiful, beautiful dough. So go ahead and get it all mixed in there. Don't worry about it. This is all good stuff. Why don't you keep working it? I mean, look at that. That's a beautiful, beautiful bowl of dough. I used about 2.25 cups of flour. Now you're going to sprinkle some flour onto your board. Keep this like so. I also have a dough scraper on hand because that really helps kind of scrape everything out. Get some flour ready. I've got my gnocchi board. If you don't have a gnocchi board, don't fear. You can use a fork, and I will show you. You take, I don't know, like a golf-sized piece of dough. You roll this out till it's about, I'd say, 3/4 of an inch thick. Now, I don't know my sports very well, so I aim for a golf ball size, but I'm pretty sure I got like a tennis ball size, but that's okay. You roll this out till you got about 3/4 of an inch thick rope, and then you cut out little pieces like so. You roll them around in flour, and then you take a gnocchi board, you roll this against, and you pop them on there, just like so. If you don't have a gnocchi board, you take a fork, dip it in flour, the back of the fork, you roll it, and you still have the ridges. Now my hands are covered in flour, so you won't see well, but that is what you're looking for. Now, I'm only going to do half because I'm going to take the remaining half, wrap it in some plastic wrap, and pop it in the fridge, and then form the rest of them tomorrow to go into the freezer, but this is what we're cooking up tonight. Now what you want to do is you want to take another mapin, a kitchen towel. Joe just gets a kick out of when I call it mapin, and you want to cover these lightly, just like so, and now I'm just going to let them sit here for about an hour or so to just dry out a little bit. I find that they cook better and they have better texture. However, if you want to cook them right now, you can. You'll just have to be careful because they'll stick together. They have the tendency to stick together a lot more if they haven't dried out a bit. So I'm just going to let them do their thing, sit out. I'm going to wrap the rest of this up, pop it in the fridge, and clean up his monster hand, and then I'll be right back. My gnocchi was sitting out for about an hour. Now what I have here is a large pot that I sprinkled a good amount of salt in, and that's up to a really nice high boil. And right in front of it, I've got a large skillet with high sides with some unsalted butter. Now this is, this is going to be the sauce. We're going to add some chopped sage to the butter, and this is going to start to get a lovely golden brown. The sage is going to get really nice and crispy. It's fantastic. So while that's happening, smells insane already. Like the sage and everything is just incredible. Now while that's happening, I've just got like a little strainer here. I don't know if this is the proper word for it, but I'm going to do probably in 2 batches. It's all going to fit into the same pot because it's not a lot of gnocchi, but I'm just going to drop my gnocchi into my salted boiling water and then cook them until they float to the top. It'll only take 2-3 minutes maybe, tops. So it'll be perfect because the butter should be done by then. In fact, I'm going to turn it down because I don't want it to get too brown. And that's it. Gnocchi's floated to the top. I'm going to go ahead and just strain them. And I'm just going to put them right into my brown butter sauce. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That is what you are looking for. I'm trying to get myself a nice facial. Incredible. Turn it off. You are done. You've got the crispy little sage bits all over the place. Now you could serve this as is, and it is perfection, but a little cracked black pepper and a sprinkle of Parmigiano takes things over the top. Come on. And I like a little bit of that salty, cheesy goodness. All I want to do is for you to see this closer. I'm going to bring my skillet right there. Look at those. Look at those. They helped their shape beautifully. That brown butter is now become sweet and nutty and delicious. The sage has given off its delicious aroma. Just going to give, oh, I don't have a fork. Whoa. That is like, talk about an SOS. Just going to taste a few now because I'm going to serve those with dinner. I'm going to go for that little plump one right there. Look. They might not be known as gnocchi, but I'm pretty sure she would be proud. They're not over the top as far as flavors. There's not too many complicated flavors. It's really kind of subtle and buttery and delicious and sweet. Divine. What you could do is you could add maybe a small little pinch of cinnamon in here if you wanted to, just to add a little bit of more holiday flavors. You just have to be careful because you could go a little too heavy and then end up tasting like sweet potato pie, which is delicious, but not what we want here. Hope you enjoyed spending time with me. Go to laurainthekitchen.com to get this recipe. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.